We all saw Winnipeg's Morgan Barron take a nasty cut to the face and come back in that game. And tonight, while not nearly as gruesome, we did see another example of how freaking tough these guys are. In what was the first elimination game of these playoffs between the Islanders and Hurricanes, Carolina, up 3-1, had a chance to advance at home. But the Islanders came desperate and jumped on a Carolina turnover, Engvall in front, and just like that, the Isles would go up first in the first. And that was the first time in 25 playoff games that had happened. And it was actually the only goal of the first. But it was the next one that came in the second that was one of the most brutal I've seen, and certainly the most brutal of these playoffs so far. It was just over 3 minutes into the second. Engvall puts one on net, hits Aho in front, and suddenly it's in the back of the net, and Aho is leaking. Now, he would go straight to the dressing room as he was bleeding heavily, and so let's take a look at what happened here. Now, this was a knuckler from far range. It rides up and hits Aho in the face as he would go down, but before the puck even hits the ice, Brock Nelson bats it out of the air and scores. Now, a very high skill goal from Nelson, who, by the way, is wearing a cage himself. Not only does it hit Aho right in the teeth, they then get scored on, and that is just a brutal stroke of luck. Even worse, he apparently doesn't use a mouth guard either, so some chiclets likely missing there. But as the game does, it would continue without him, and then after a commercial break, not even 10 minutes later, and look who's back on the bench. A nasty gash by his mouth as Aho would return, and man, does that look uncomfortable. But he's back on the bench, and he wasn't done for the night, as we'll see in a bit. But for now, back to the game where with 7 to go, Chatfield would slap one on net, gets deflected in front, and it's Stastny, after over half the game was over, finally put the Canes on the board to cut their deficit in half. But answering right back less than 5 minutes later, and on a 4-on-4, Barzal with Strepnichus of the puck goes all the way back and rips one glove side to take back the 2-goal lead. That would be it for the second as we head over to the third and final period, where we see Aho again, this time stitched up, as this reportedly took a handful of stitches, and again, these guys just aren't human. Coming back like this, and not only did he return, but fighting to take the series just as we passed the midway point of the period, behind the Islanders' net, and Jarvis would steal it, puck to the front, and guess who? It's Sebastian Aho who scores and gets his team right back in it. Now, though they had plenty of time, they just weren't able to crack Sorokin again, and it was the Islanders who would hold on and stay alive as they take this one 3-2. They got some great tending from Sorokin when it mattered, as they now head back to Long Island, where they get a huge chance to tie this thing right back up. But that's it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.